Because of the worldwide fall in mental health, we are more dedicated than ever to producing more content than ever before. Keep following along, and we appreciate you being here with us. The importance of family is something that has been hammered into us from an early age by our peers, popular culture, and culture at large. But what if there is a truly poisonous person in your life? When did you find out? Maybe it came as a shock to you to find out that not everyone's home life was like yours. We know how challenging it can be to recognize a loved one's harmful behavior. So, let's have a look at several indicators that can point to poisoning. Number 1. They are always invading your personal space. Have you communicated with a loved one about the things you will not tolerate, and why? Ignore you and carry on regardless of how they frame it. It could be anything from making fun of your appearance to forcing you to fulfill their fantasies. They continue to ignore the boundary by frequently trampling across it. In fact, they might even try to convince you that what they're doing is beneficial by saying things like, "This is good for you," or "You should learn to accept what we're doing," despite the fact that the evidence suggests otherwise. This is very poisonous conduct. It's not healthy. It's disrespectful to you as a person, and you don't have to accept it if you don't want to. Number 2. You can never get something for free. This toxic relative has a my way or the highway mentality. Unless you are the one making concessions, there will be none. It's never enough effort, no matter how much you put in. There is always more to learn. The requests become so constant that you can't possibly keep track of everything going on around you. They are unreasonable in their demands and picky in their demands. And if you do bring up your own wants, you'll probably get guilted or scolded for having selfish thoughts. We have some news for you. You are not a horrible person for honestly evaluating the circumstances and wanting to live your own life. Such an exhaustingly demanding dynamic is abnormal and harmful. Number 3, you haven't been given any credit for your efforts. You finally earned that degree. Wow, congrats on your international placing. Congratulations, you have been hired. You feel accomplished since you did more than merely observe. Nobody cheated on you. You shouldn't expect praise for maintaining a nutritious diet. It's not trivial, quite the opposite. The question is whether or not those successes were simply forgotten. Or sometimes they are acknowledged, but merely to highlight your shortcomings. I don't understand why you didn't win. Feeling unloved and ignored is a perfectly reasonable emotion to have. Don't listen to anyone who tells you that you're being irrational or arrogant. This cruel and harmful practice, which they may justify by claiming helps to keep you humble, is actually just a means by which they may maintain a sense of superiority and power over you. Number 4, people dismiss your issues as attention-seeking or weak justifications. In context, you talk to a relative about how you're overworked, exhibiting signs of burnout, and need a break, or how the loss you're suffering is making it especially hard to move on with the favor you'd planned to perform for them. Did you suddenly feel uneasy, afraid, or dejected? Did your brain immediately reply, "No, I can't do that"? Why? You may have anticipated that their response would be to say something like, yeah, what else is new?" Or to roll their eyes and act like they didn't hear you. You might be bracing yourself to hear how much of a spoiled brat and attention seeker you are, or how much of a lazy good-for-nothing you are. It could be accompanied by the bitter aftertaste of, "I went through this and didn't need a break," intended to further your sense of inferiority. It's poisonous and wrong to disregard someone's right to feel and express emotion. The desire for care, affection, and comfort in times of distress is not a frivolous one. Their incapacity or unwillingness tells much more about them than it does about you. Number 5, you're to blame for everything. Is there no way to make a positive impression? Do you find that even the kindest deeds turn into ugliness? Have you ever been wrongly accused of something you couldn't possibly have done? That, my friend, is some nasty poison. This is not typical behavior in a family, and you should not have to put up with it. Take a deep breath, trust your intuition, and ask yourself, could this really possibly be directly my fault? If you see this warning sign, is the damage I caused truly that great? You don't have to take on other people's problems or serve as a scapegoat. No, it's not your responsibility that someone in your family forgot their own lunch. And yes, a score of 90 is excellent on that test. The persistent placing of blame and criticism can lead to feelings of resentment and wrath. You shouldn't feel like you have to take this kind of toxic conduct lying down. If it's making you feel imprisoned, remember that you have every right to cut ties with anybody or whatever is causing you distress. Number 6 is gaslighting. Due to the widespread use of this term, a simple Google search will provide numerous results. If it's happening, how do you prevent it? If you get the impression that they frequently lie to you, keep that in mind. Keep in mind that saying, "No, you owe me a coffee," more than once or twice is probably just an accident. There is a high likelihood that someone is gaslighting you if they insist that everything you know is a lie and that your memories of them have been nearly entirely rewritten. They want you to have low self-confidence so that you can never surpass them, and they can avoid responsibility for their own failures. Not natural, not good for you, and definitely abusive. Did these symbols help you to get insight into your own experiences? Do other people experience this? Just how are you coping with it? Discussion is welcome. Click the like button, and we'll be in touch shortly.